In the summer of 2018, the NBA witnessed one of its most shocking and contentious exits as Kawhi Leonard parted ways with the San Antonio Spurs. A franchise long known for its stability, discipline, and unparalleled success under Greg Popovich suddenly found itself embroiled in turmoil. Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs' homegrown superstar and heir to the legacy of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, was at the center of it all. This is the story of how a mysterious injury, miscommunication, and fractured trust led to the unraveling of one of the NBA's most respected partnerships. We'll explore the highs of Leonard's rise, the lows of the fallout, and the ripple effects that reshaped the league. The rise of Kawhi Leonard, a perfect match. Drafted 15th overall in the 2011 NBA Draft, Kawhi Leonard entered the league as a raw prospect with tremendous defensive potential. Traded to the Spurs on draft night, Leonard quickly found a home in San Antonio's system. Under Greg Popovich's tutelage, Leonard blossomed into a two-way force. 2014 NBA Finals MVP. Leonard's breakout moment came in the 2014 NBA Finals, where his defense on LeBron James and efficient scoring earned him the Finals MVP award. At just 22 years old, he was the youngest to win the honor since Magic Johnson. Defensive Player of the Year. Leonard solidified his status as one of the league's elite by winning back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards in 2015 and 2016. Franchise cornerstone. As the Spurs transitioned out of the Tim Duncan era, Leonard became the focal point of their offense while maintaining the defensive prowess that defined his game. By 2017, Leonard was firmly in the MVP conversation, and the Spurs looked poised to remain contenders for years to come. The beginning of the end. The injury. The seeds of Leonard's departure were sown during the 2017 Western Conference Finals. In Game 1 against the Golden State Warriors, Leonard suffered an ankle injury after landing on Zaza Pachulia's foot. The Spurs, leading by 23 points at the time, went on to lose the game and the series in a sweep. More importantly, Leonard's health became a lingering concern. The quadriceps injury. Heading into the 2017 to 2018 season, Leonard was diagnosed with a right quadriceps injury. Initially expected to return early in the season, his recovery dragged on for months. Reports of discomfort and re-injury complicated the timeline, and Leonard appeared in just 9 games that year. Mysterious absences and growing tension. The Spurs medical staff cleared Leonard to play, but the star forward sought a second opinion. He traveled to New York to work with outside specialists, a move that raised eyebrows within the organization. The decision fueled speculation about distrust between Leonard and the Spurs staff. The fallout, miscommunication, and fractured trust. The tension between Leonard and the Spurs escalated as the season progressed. The typically tight-lipped Spurs found themselves at the center of a media storm, with rumors swirling about Leonard's dissatisfaction. Tony Parker's comment. In March 2018, Tony Parker publicly stated that his own quadriceps injury had been 100 times worse than Leonard's. While perhaps intended as a rallying cry for the team, Parker's comments were seen as a direct criticism of Leonard's decision to sit out. The remarks reportedly deepened the rift. Players-only meeting. Shortly after Parker's comments, the Spurs held a players-only meeting to address Leonard's absence. Reports suggested that several teammates urged Leonard to return to the court, a move that some interpreted as pressure rather than support. Leonard's silent. Throughout the turmoil, Leonard remained silent publicly. He avoided media engagements and provided little clarity on his intentions. This silence allowed speculation to fester and further strained relationships within the organization. Media and fan reaction. The media's portrayal of Leonard added fuel to the fire. While some analysts sided with Leonard, citing his right to manage his health, others criticized his lack of communication and perceived betrayal of the Spurs culture. Fans were similarly divided. Many remained loyal to Leonard, while others saw his behavior as a departure from the team-first ethos that defined San Antonio. The trade request and aftermath. In June 2018, Leonard requested a trade, marking the official end of his time in San Antonio. While the Spurs initially hoped to reconcile, it became clear that the relationship was beyond repair. The trade to Toronto. In July 2018, the Spurs traded Leonard and Danny Green to the Toronto Raptors in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, Jacob Poeltl, and a protected first-round pick. The move shocked the NBA, with many questioning whether the Spurs had received fair value for their disgruntled star. The Raptors' gamble. Toronto's acquisition of Leonard was a high-risk, high-reward move. With Leonard entering the final year of his contract, the Raptors risked losing him in free agency. However, the gamble paid off in spectacular fashion as Leonard led the Raptors to their first NBA championship in 2019, solidifying his legacy as a transcendent talent. Impact on the league. Leonard's trade and subsequent championship had ripple effects throughout the league. It validated the Raptors' decision to go all in, inspiring other teams to make bold moves. Additionally, It highlighted the growing power of players in shaping their careers and forcing trades when dissatisfied. The Spurs post-Kawhi, a new chapter. The departure of Leonard marked the end of an era for the Spurs. The franchise, long defined by stability and contention, entered a period of rebuilding. While DeRozan performed admirably, the team struggled to replicate its former success. The decline in contention. Without Leonard, the Spurs missed the playoffs for the first time in over 2 decades during the 2019-2020 season. The absence of a true superstar left the team without a clear identity, forcing Greg Popovich to adapt his system to a younger and less experienced roster. The role of young talent. The Spurs began focusing on player development, with emerging talents like DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson taking on larger roles. While promising, these players have yet to fill the void left by Leonard's departure. Lessons from the Kawhi-Leonard saga. Communication is key. The breakdown between Leonard and the Spurs underscores the importance of clear and consistent communication between players and organization. The role of player empowerment. Leonard's decision to seek outside medical opinions reflects a broader trend of players asserting control over their careers and health. Reputation matters. The Spurs, long seen as a model organization, faced uncharacteristic scrutiny during the saga, showing that even the most respected franchises are not immune to conflict. The power of risk. Both the Spurs and Raptors took significant risks during this period. While the Spurs trade marked the end of an era, the Raptors' gamble on Leonard demonstrated the value of bold decision-making in pursuit of success. The legacy of a departure. Kawhi Leonard's exit from the San Antonio Spurs is a story of triumph, tension, and transformation. It marked the end of one of the NBA's most iconic partnerships and reshaped the league's landscape. For Leonard, the move to Toronto brought redemption and further cemented his legacy. For the Spurs, it was a moment of reckoning that forced the franchise to adapt to a new reality. In the years since, the lessons from Leonard's departure continue to resonate, reminding us that even the strongest foundations can be shaken by miscommunication and mistrust. But as the NBA evolves, so too do its players and teams, ensuring that every story, no matter how complex, becomes a part of the league's rich tapestry.